What up, ladies and gents? I picked up some more 1985 O-Pee-Chee cards from the Great White North, and I got a really good deal. All these cards were top loaded, and I got them all for like I believe $5 or $6 from Canada. So that's pretty good. That's including shipping. So let's get into it. The first one is a leg up. And I don't really remember this guy all that much. I don't believe he was around very long, but this is Corporal Kirkkirchner. Kirchner, sorry. Corporal Kirkkirchner has a leg up, really two legs on the Iron Sheik. Caught like this, the Sheik is in trouble. It hurts, and the Sheik doesn't like to be beaten by Americans. So again, Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov had like this thing going on with Corporal Kirchner, and I believe also Sergeant Slaughter. But this guy was essentially like Sergeant Slaughter light. He had a couple like vignettes I remember watching when I was a kid, but I don't believe he was around a long time. You all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was not a guy who stuck around very long in wrestling. He had a few years or whatever, and then he kind of just like disappeared. I don't, like I said, remember him all that much. Next up is the Killer Bees. This actually card is, raw. I believe it's like about $9. I don't know if it's a rookie card, but all these cards I got, they're all like $2 or $3 a piece. Some of them were like 9 or 10, but I got them all, like I said, for like $5, $6, $7, including shipping. So you have the Killer Bees. So it's Jumpin' Jim Brunzel and B. Brian Blair. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, again, they used to come out with a bee mask. And I think that's how I remember. They would come out with like bee masks on, and they would take them off when they got to the ring. And I remember, like, as a kid, that was so cool. They come out looking like bees. They had like yellow and black masks with like bee-looking eyeballs on each side. I just thought it was so cool. Here it says, the Killer Bees may be the fastest tag team in the ring today. They are quick enough to beat men much larger than they are. The Bees can really sting. Whoa. I wonder if that's copyright infringement, saying they can sting. Wah, wah. So there you have that one. Next up, we have Bobby the Brain Heenan. Probably one, if not the best heel managers ever to lace them up. I would put Mr. Fuji in there as well. Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South. I would say he's a pretty good heel manager. Bobby the Brain Heenan just was like so much like this, like head to the shoulder above almost everybody else. I mean, he just was great on the mic. That's the difference. Is, I mean, he came out. He didn't have like any kind of gimmicky like things he would carry. A lot of guys, Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hart had the megaphone. Jim Cornette had the tennis racket. Mr. Fuji had the cane. Bobby the Brain Heenan, all he had was his mouth. And that was awesome. I mean, he would get people over and hate him so much, or get his heel wrestlers over. It was amazing. I mean, he is definitely one of the smartest guys in wrestling. So there you go. Bobby the Brain Heenan for him. Next up, we have Showboating with Roddy Piper. Again, another one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. I just loved Roddy Piper. As Roddy Piper swirls his plaids before starting a match. Piper likes to showboat, but he really can wrestle too. He's as tough as he is boastful. So there you go. And he definitely was. I mean, if you ever think about Roddy Piper, he never really had like a super, what you would consider like a wrestling body. He wasn't overtly muscular. He was always, toned and in good shape. But, I mean, it was just like a healthy build. But, I mean, again, he was a great wrestler because of how well he did on the mic. He did a great job selling for the baby faces. And then when he turned face, he did a good job selling for the heels. I mean, he just was a good wrestler all around. He did really great. He was great in the ring when it came to the mental part of the storytelling. He just was a very fantastic storyteller in the ring. He did a Piper Pit. He did things that would put him over and above most other personalities in wrestling. You could drop Roddy Piper in today's wrestling, and he would get over, and he would be able to keep up with those guys. He just was so good at what he was doing. Very few guys could do that. Jason Snake Roberts is another guy. He was as good in the ring as he was on the mic. Like, he never had a beefcake body or whatever you like to say, like muscular body. He was always just like, slightly, pudgy, usually a little bit of, flab there. He was never like fat, not till later in life, of course, but when he was in his prime, he was pretty, had a pretty, just regular dude body, which again, nowadays, having regular dude bodies is unusual because even the oldest guys or the youngest guys have to be chiseled now. They've kind of got away from that where it used to be like a guy that looks like he just got out of the bar, be brawling, bar brawler. You don't see those guys with those bodies anymore. Everybody has to be like, super chiseled like Michelangelo, just like chisel them right out of stone. Talking about a guy who had a pretty muscular chiseled body, got right here, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. His karate chops, was super famous for his chops, man. He would, like him and Ric Flair, whoa buddy. And him and also, if I think about it, Randy Macho Man Savage, there were some chops heard around the world. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, let's go with a karate chop. Steamboat is a master of martial arts. He uses them all along with scientific wrestling to baffle his opponents. So there you go. And he could put, him and Piper were two of my favorite wrestlers growing up. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong again, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat never turned heel his entire career. He was always a babyface, which is pretty cool. And last and certainly not least is this 1990, Randy Macho Man Savage from WrestleMania, I believe, 6. So there you have it. This is like kind of like King Macho Man right here. He had a Macho King, I think that's what he went by. So he had like a gimmick where he was doing that for a couple years or a year or so. It says, in their royal splendor, the Macho King and Sensational Queen, who was Sensational Sherry, seemed confident going into WrestleMania 6 a matchup. And I remember this gimmick here pretty well. Again, I liked Randy Macho Man Savage. He was one of those wrestlers who just did crazy things in the ring. That flying off the top turnbuckle, like he felt like he was flying across with the elbow all the way across the entire ring. I felt like, he was a guy who went the furthest anytime he was in the ring jumping off the top. He captivated the audience. He always came out in flashy costumes and outfits. He was great on the microphone. He just, he would just always give 100%, it felt like. And as a kid, when he would do all the stuff with the fingers and he would just like look in the camera with sometimes with the sunglasses, sometimes not, and he would just, ooh, yeah, today is the day, Hulk Hogan, You just knew something, you were just drawn into that. And he'd be like, ooh, yeah. You just loved it. You loved that. When you were a kid, you ate that up Sunday morning or Saturday morning for breakfast. You just like, feed me more. So guys, here it is. Hope you all enjoyed the video. And until next time, peace.